You thought the movie had a lot of characters? You ain't seen nothing, boy.
Talk Strange, Iron Man, Thor, and Spider-Man, Captain America, Hawkeye, Namor, Stretchy Man, Wolverine, Black Widow, Falcon, Shang-Chi, Black Swan, Starfire, and Hyperion, the rest of the Avengers, the rest of the X-Men, Guardians of the Galaxy, Thunderbolts, Inhumans, Manifold, Smasher, Thanos Jr.? Shit, they got Black Panther in this?
Pretty green, but all in my blood. Oh, I need it. We could take off now. Oh, infinity.
Yeah. You'd think that an event like this would be a total mess, right? An incredibly grand-scale story with an insane cast of characters and locations and convoluted plotlines. First you have the Avengers waging a universal war in deep space, then you have Thanos invading Earth, all while the multiverse is mysteriously dying. It's also building off previous events, while setting up new ones at the same time. It's fucking nuts. And so you might be thinking, just how does writer Jonathan Hickman deal with all of these elements in an easy-to-understand way? He doesn't. And he's not trying to. I'm gonna boil it down so that the madness becomes a little bit more digestible, but if you don't get it, then don't worry. I had to read this like 6 times to understand what was going on. But personally, I don't think that objectively understanding a piece of art is that important. It should be about what you get from it, your own personal experience, and that's what I try and capture in my videos. Hickman delves into deep themes like the inevitability of death and achieving the impossible. And those are all well and good, but sometimes it's nice to step back and appreciate the smaller things. Like how beautifully crafted some of the designs are, or how interesting the different planets are. There's a planet full of eggs. I don't know how that got there, but it's fucking sick. Granted, Hickman didn't create a lot of these characters and worlds himself, but I do love how he utilises them to tell an original and fascinating story, and how despite the grand scale of things, he still finds time to have these small and intimate moments between the characters. Infinity begins with an ancient race of beings called the Builders. They're one of the oldest civilizations in the universe, and they're so powerful they can create whole new species. They made these golden, tree-like creatures called the Gardeners, who can create life and terraform entire planets. They also made the Alephs, these robotic-like creatures who can completely destroy said planets if the Builders feel like it. Basically, you do not fuck with these guys. They are immortal, they have weapons that would make the Death Star look like a bowling ball, and not once has anyone ever been able to stand in their way. I love this sort of world building. I'll spend hours and hours on the Marvel wiki falling down a rabbit hole, starting with the Builders and then, oh, they were created by Captain Universe, who was created by the Celestials, and it goes deeper and deeper until I'm at the first universe to ever exist, who's actually a person, who goes to war with the multiverse, who's also a person, and then all the multiverses are ruled by the one above all, who's basically God, but not really because he also exists, and all of this is happening while Daredevil is fighting street criminals in Hell's Kitchen. Fuck. The Avengers receive a distress call from one of their allies in deep space. It turns out that the Builders have been going around the universe, completely annihilating whole planets without warning. There's something so haunting about seeing these heroes desperately try to defend what's left of their home, only for the gigantic Builders fleet to appear on the horizon, blacking out the sun as it begins to exterminate all life on the planet. Obviously, the Avengers are pretty freaked out, you know? If these giant space empires of Kree and Skrulls are getting wiped by the Builders, what chance does this bitch have? But the Avengers have dealt with enough world-ending scenarios, and so they form a plan. They're gonna team up with the other planets, and hopefully if everyone comes together, then they can defeat the Builders before they reach Earth. They prepare for the worst, and shoot off into deep space to stand with their cosmic allies. You know it's serious when you get this giant chapter title surrounded by a white void. Hickman loves doing these, he uses them again for Secret Wars. You can call it a waste of paper, but when I turn the page and it's like, shit's about to go down. When Thanos learns of the Avengers' disappearance, he takes the opportunity to invade Earth. You see, Thanos has a son who's half Thanos and half Inhuman. Basically, one of the Inhumans ran away with Thanos, they had a fun time together, and she returned back to Earth with Thanos' seed. That's how it's described in the comics, don't come at me. Because Thanos' child looks like that of an ordinary human, he could be anywhere on Earth. He's a needle in a haystack. And so Thanos sends a full assault on all of Earth's remaining defenders. Wakanda, Atlantis, the Jean Grey School, the Sanctum Sanctorum, and he sets up a blockade around Earth's orbit so that no one can get in or out. In the heat of all the chaos, Thanos sends his minions down to the Inhuman city in order to find the location of his child. They meet with the king of the Inhumans, Black Bolt, and offer him a choice. He can either hand over all of the Inhuman children to Thanos and everyone else will be spared, or face the destruction of Earth. And when the Inhumans are like, no, we'll just fucking kill you, Thanos' army slits their own throats to prove how little they fear death. What a fucking power play. And so Black Bolt and the rest of the Inhumans are left with the fateful choice, and Thanos will soon return to get his answer. While the Inhumans try and figure out what to do, the Avengers are preparing for total war against the Builders. They've teamed up with galactic empires such as the Skrulls, the Kree, and Star-Lord's dad to prevent the destruction of the planet 1 Prime. I think that's how you say it. When the Builders' insanely overpowered world killer fleet arrives, the Avengers actually put up a good fight. They use their combined forces to destroy most of the Builders' fleet. It's almost too easy. While the battle wages on in the sky, the Builders sneak two of their creatures down to the planet's surface, a Gardener and an Aleph. A Gardener's sole purpose is to create life, but when they die, it's a whole different story. And there's a beautiful moment between the two creatures, you know? These two that have been made for completely different purposes and have different ideals of life. They have a brief conversation about what happens after you die, and the Gardener notes how he's spending his last moments going against his very life's purpose. This moment is ultimately unnecessary. Hickman didn't have to put this in, but the fact that he did makes the moment just that bit more special and brings a bit of humanity to the villains. The Gardener's suicide engulfs the entire planet with an aura of death, rapidly deteriorating all life nearby, including the people. The Avengers fly down to evacuate as many people as they can before it's too late. When there's no more room in the ships, a desperate mother runs up to Thor and begs him to take her child, and she prays to him as he flies off and the planet slowly turns to ash. The Avengers manage to escape with the civilians to a hidden corner of the universe, a giant artificial ring that loops around a deserted planet, containing over 100 million refugees from all of the planets that the Builders destroyed. This ring acts as a temporary home for all of these people while the Avengers try to figure out how to help them. Again, Hickman could have just put these refugees on some boring shelter on some planet and not put any attention towards it. But he puts great care into describing the ring world for the artist, and this particular creative decision will later lead to some beautifully horrifying imagery. You'll see what I mean in a minute. It's not long until their location is compromised, and the Builders soon launch a deadly attack on the ring world. The majority of the ring is instantly destroyed, causing the deaths of over 40 million innocent people. The Avengers are forced to watch as the lifeless bodies of the refugees freeze, while all of their belongings, such as a child's teddy bear, float around in the vacuum of space. This staggering loss of life is a message. You cannot run, you cannot hide, you can only submit to the Builders or meet the same fate as these people. And soon, planets all over the cosmos begin surrendering themselves to the immortal Builders. As Thanos continues his assault, Black Bolt prepares for Thanos' return. The Inhumans prepare a bomb filled with Terrigen crystals. For those who don't know, if a person with inhuman genetics is exposed to a Terrigen crystal, their body will start to mutate and they'll be transformed into an Inhuman. Thanos returns to the Inhuman city to receive his answer, only to find that the whole place has been evacuated. The only person who remains is Black Bolt. Now, if you aren't familiar with Black Bolt's powers, let's just say that getting him to talk isn't exactly the best strategy for defeating him. Black Bolt opens his mouth and sends a giant energy blast right towards Thanos' face, both setting off the Terrigen bomb and obliterating the Inhuman city. Suddenly, thousands of people across the world begin transforming into Inhumans, including Thanos' son. His violent transformation catches the attention of Ebony Maw, one of Thanos' servants. Greatly injured from the blast, Thanos pulls himself out of the wreckage and uses the last of his strength to beat Black Bolt. There is now pretty much no one left on Earth to stop him, and so he heads to confront his son. With seemingly no choice, the Avengers meet the Builders to negotiate a surrender and put an end to all the death and destruction. Everything is riding on this negotiation, and so whoever the Avengers send in will ultimately decide the fate of the universe. And so the person they send in is Thor. It's quite fitting, as Thor in mythology represents the protection of mankind, and by extension all people across the universe. Admittedly, I'm not Thor's #1 fan, but from what I have read, I do think that this is one of his greatest and most memorable moments. The head builder demands that Thor is unarmed, and so he says a prayer to Odin and throws his hammer into the sky. The builder humiliates Thor in front of everyone in the universe and orders him to kneel. Thor reluctantly obliges, while Mjolnir keeps hurtling through space. It passes through the planet's sun and curves around in the opposite direction. The builder informs Thor that there will be no negotiation. There's no bargain. Mankind's time is up. But Thor is not just a man, and just then, Mjolnir, now scorched in solar plasma, rips through the planet's atmosphere right back into Thor's hand. I could talk for hours about why I love this scene. There's just something about the way Hickman writes dialogue. It's so grand and poetic, and reading it makes me feel like I'm way smarter than I actually am. So whenever someone makes a speech, I'm like, yeah, I'll fight in your war. I'll happily kill a man if you give me enough metaphors. Thor's victory sends a new message across the universe. Hope triumphing over despair. And so all over the universe, people rise up against their invaders, fighting in the Avengers' name. I'd say it's the book's main message, that if people see someone achieving the impossible, they believe they can do it themselves, and spiritually that is way more powerful than any alien armada. It's what the Avengers is all about, standing up to impossible odds, and giving hope when it's needed the most. In the wake of their victory, the Avengers learn of Earth's invasion, and are like, shit, we gotta deal with that now. The other empires feel in debt to the Avengers, and promise to go back to Earth with them to take on Thanos. And now it's time for a father-son reunion. Speaking of, can you guess what Thanos' son is called? Is it A. Thane, B. Thanos, or C. literally anything else? Because if you're hiding, then why would your name be anything to do with Thanos? And the answer is A. Thanos arrives to confront Thane, who's been captured by Ebony Maw. When Thane asks him why he's doing this, Thanos gives him a slightly more brutal version of, I'm not mad, just disappointed. He explains that his son's very existence keeps him awake at night, and he'll sleep a lot better after he's killed him. So just as Thanos is about to end his son's life, the Avengers break through the blockade with the help of the Guardians of the Galaxy. They all attack Thanos at once, hitting him with everything they've got, but it's just not enough. Because he's a sneaky bitch, Ebony Maw releases Thane when Thanos isn't looking, and gives him a choice. He could either escape and run from his father like he always has, or he can stand up to Thanos and prove himself in his own right. And just as Thanos is about to win, Thane activates his new inhuman powers. Thanos is frozen in what is described as a state of living death. A giant amber cube where he'll be trapped for all eternity. The Avengers take Thanos in, while Thane goes off with Ebony Maw to try and grow beyond his father's name. The Avengers help to rebuild, while new Inhumans continue to emerge across the globe. The Gardeners are finally free, and begin to repopulate the planets their masters had destroyed. Hickman goes into detail about the fates of all the different species in the galaxy, so that if you were paying attention across his run, then you get some payoff. I like that it works as a standalone story, and also a chapter in a wider narrative. But hang on a minute, why were the builders destroying everything? Like, was it just for fun? Or were they onto something? Well, it turns out that Earth lies dead center in the oncoming death of the multiverse, and could be the very reason for the extinction of all life in every reality. It's never anything boring with Hickman, but the insanely ambitious nature of his storytelling always has a smaller, more personal meaning in its core. He explores the effect these gigantic conflicts have on the common people, which is something I always appreciate. It's about time we get a movie about the average person in the Marvel universe. I ain't talking about fucking Free Guy or something, I'm talking about... I love my wife and my two beautiful children, and never been happier, never been happier. I'm so excited to see what my children bring to the world. He wants to be an astronaut, she wants to be messy. I take work off, spend time with my son, I take him to lacrosse, then we go for a run. We like to ride bikes and we like to play squash, we never miss the golf. We're white! Sports aren't really my daughter's cup of tea, so we spend a lot of time watching movies and TV. We both love Star Wars, we watched The Mandalorian, we tried Boba Fett, but the shit was pretty boring. They love the Avengers, Hulk is their favourite, standing in the cold rain just to catch a glimpse of him. Christmas treat we go to, the musical the four of us go, plus my creepy old uncle. The show sucks dick, worst shit I've ever heard. Is that the real Hulk? No, a green greasy nerd. Don't worry pal, if you die before me, I'll keep your wife busy if you know what I mean. I wish I was the Hulk, he's really strong. Christmas is soon, you won't be waiting long. Hulk hands, Dad, thanks so much. Now I can punch my sister in the butt. Fuck off Julian, you sweaty little neat, or I'll beat you so hard you'll need braces for your teeth. Calm down kids, you don't have to fight. Wait till the weekend, we'll go somewhere nice. I take him to the beach, wearing sandals with socks. Kids are asking for ice cream non-stop. Keep giving them money to buy useless stuff. My wallet may be draining, but my heart's filling up. We go for a family picnic, cutting the crusts off their PBJ sandwiches.
Aliens attack from a black hole in the sky, destroying the city, destroying the city. Don't worry kids, the Avengers gonna save us tonight. Alright. And when the Hulk runs past, he's hit with an alien blast. And with his big fat buns, he sits on my son and my wife and my daughter as well. They're meant to avenge, but they ruin me, and I've lost my wife and my children too. I'm on the edge mentally, and I really don't know what I will do.
Now your kids are dead and so is your missus. Does that mean you got a spare golf ticket?
That's it, Paul, I've had enough of your shit. I club him in the face and his head fucking splits.
Oh Jesus Christ, what the fuck have I done? I rushed out of my house and now I'm on the run. Come with me if you really want to live. Who the fuck are you? I'll explain in a bit.
This is a group, it's a shelter for those who've lost their loved ones to the Avengers. They warmly welcome me into their family and tell me their stories, tell me their stories.
My name is Dave, my life changed quick when Tony Stark bought a brand new whip. He was drunk as fuck and missed a stop sign and he drove his car right into my grandma. My name is Janice, I'm a teacher at school. There's this handsome colleague that I'm really trying to pull, and as we're making out in the cupboard where the mop is, they cause an earthquake and the cupboard falls on him. My name's Joe, I like to watch trains, I work at McDonald's for a minimum wage, and on my way out after hours of depression, the Avengers use my only car as a weapon. The names are fresh, I hear all the rumours and this word going around of guys called the Builders. The Avengers gotta stop them, but they don't give a shit. Planet's gonna die while they touch each other's dicks. We don't have jobs, so they seized all our houses. The government's hunting us cause we can't pay our taxes. We have no homes, we have no lives, but if we stick together, then the future looks bright. I want to get to know all of you fine chaps. Does anyone here like Star Wars by chance? I hate the new ones, they're way too political. I miss the old stuff when themes weren't literal. Shut the fuck up, Dave, stop getting so offended. Having women in a film doesn't make it an agenda. The fuck is Star Wars? I don't know what that shit is, cause unlike you guys, I get bitches. Guys, calm down and stop being pricks. We can all agree that the last one's shit. I'll put my phone up high and get some internet, then we can all watch the new Boba Fett. fucking what? This is Power
so
Rangers.
shit.
Fucking
This
Power
is
Rangers.
shit. Turn it off!
Shut the fuck up. Dave, they're gonna fucking hear us. Bad news, guys. Thanks to Dave's loud shouting, the feds have found us and they're outside the building.
You're under arrest. Put your hands on your head. You move a fucking muscle and you'll be spitting lead. Especially you in the light brown chinos. You're under suspicion for the murder of a pedo. On second thoughts, we'll just kill you instead. If you don't pay tax, then you're better off dead. You can't do this. It's completely absurd. I won't lie, lady. Those are lame ass words. My name is Joe. I like to watch trains and I'm gonna see my friends even if it's the end. Joe, no! I miss my wife and my two beautiful children. I've never been sadder, I've never been sadder. This ain't even a joke, I'm in a lot of pain. I feel all along like the world's caving in, and the only way I've coped for this long is by expressing my feelings through fictional songs. Why? Oh, why did I choose this guy as a vessel for my own emotions and experiences? We made it out alive cause Joe was very brave. He gave his life so the rest could escape. When are we gonna hold them responsible? Despite all that money, they're not untouchable. I swear to you, Joe, you won't die in vain. Yeah, 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 yeah. 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 Yeah, 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 yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.